So my name is Jeanine Milillo, and thank you for standing by with that, and Jason. I'd like to just introduce myself. I am the business agent for Carlin in the U.S. Carlin is a creative trend bureau based out of Paris, France. And today I'll be sharing a presentation of spring summer 21 trends with you. So thank you all for tuning in, and just a special thanks to Darnell and Jason and John for putting this show together. They've done an awesome job with all of this digital and even through the technology. So thanks a lot, guys. So just to get started, this is going to be a presentation. It's a women's presentation zooming in on the ready-to-wear trends for spring summer 21 and all the motivations behind the key trends this season. I know that all of you are right in the midst of your spring summer 21 product development. So this is really just to key you in on the important things that you need to focus in on for the season. On this first slide, I just want to share just a few slides because I don't know if everybody is familiar with Carlin. So just for those of you who aren't, I just want to share maybe two slides. And one slide will have to do with their methodology, which is really, really important and the basis of this trend presentation today. Carlin was actually founded in 1947 by Fred Carlin. So they've been around a very long time in the market. So that means that they must be getting something right. And the core of Carlin's methodology is based on the decoding of prospective consumption patterns and the ability to translate marketing data into creative, tangible solutions across a lot of different sectors, such as fashion, home, beauty and wellness, technology, even transportation. Carlin does this by offering information for its clients that's tailor-made or on-shelf ready throughout their trend books. And they have in-house subsidiaries such as InMove Sport, focusing right on the sport market, consulting and materials. And they're the only trend agency actually, which is important to say and share with you, that has an integrated communication agency 79C right in-house to handle all the marketing and communication for clients, which is really key. So basically the presentation today that I'm going to share with you is really in line with Carlin's values, which are taking on a whole new dimension right now during the difficult times like we're experiencing through COVID. And so the mission of Carlin is to provide clear, data-driven information and trends that clients can rely on, especially at times like this. So this is the only slide I'm going to share with you. I promise you it's not a difficult slide. It just looks like a lot of wording. But the reason I want to share this slide with you is because every time I'm presenting trends or working with clients, the question I always get is, many people are asking me, so where do you get your trends from? Where do you get your information? What do you base your forecast on? And how do I know that I can rely on it for the season with all the information out there? So just to share with you how we put together a forecast and why it's reliable information, especially now when we have a lot of changes in the market. Every year, Carlin is analyzing and decrypting societal shifts like consumption patterns and marketing data and translating them into solutions, tangible solutions for clients. I think I need to, I don't know if I need to take that off. Maybe you won't see it. So in short, our team is analyzing how all these consumer behaviors will emerge, what the needs and desires will be for clients, and what are the key trends that our clients must not miss that'll have an impact on consumers and their business over the next 12 to 24 months. And so how we do that is we take a look at what are the motivations. So on the left, you'll see individual motivations. On the right, there's collective motivations. And at the bottom, you see a little variable filter. So basically, we know that every year these motivations will stay the same, but we know that their expressions will shift. And so we need to track them on a seasonal basis. So individual motivations, you're probably familiar with. It's everything around looking at wellness, naturality, ethics, luxury, singularity and self-expression. And collective motivations are more around the need for entertainment, culture, and connections. And these are the driving forces behind what collective motivations are. These motivations are established for period of 5 years because they continue to evolve and be important every season, but they'll shift. So when we look at the motivations, down on the bottom you see the variable. And what we do is we filter the motivations such as internet, social networks, upheavals, like climate and health. And right now, we would consider COVID-19 as an upheaval variable right now. And you'll see how the COVID-19 variable is reinforcing the trends. So the spotlight, the whole pandemic has really put a spotlight on existing crises that we're already dealing with, right? So like the environment, sustainability, and politics. Except our relationship to the world has changed a little bit right now. So as we go through this presentation today, which is why I just wanted to share with you how we're working, we're looking at what our motivations are. For instance, we're seeking security and safeness. We're seeking pleasure and happiness. For values, we're in the midst of creating a new value system and reassessing our life, because all of these uncertain moments have challenged us to find, what a new normal is. So we're looking at new codes. We're concerned about the future. And on a social level, we're looking at all the boundaries between our private life and public space that's certainly going to contribute to the emergence of new social codes for us. So as we go through this presentation, I've put a little structure together. That's the way that we look at trends. And today's presentation, I'm going to focus first, a little market focus to show right now in the market some brands and products that are coming out that show the direction of what I just shared with you. And then I'm going to share Riverside and Revelry, which we feel are the two key important trends right now, because we usually address 4 key trends in the market, but Riverside and Revelry at this moment, after talking with the team in Paris, who's really helped a lot with the information. The team in Carlin is great, and they've helped me to put together some information and some things going on in Paris for you. So these are the trends that we really feel are the ones not to miss and to share with you today. And then lastly, a little section on what's going on in Paris, because it's always fun to be an armchair traveler, especially now when we're not traveling. But I'll share a few slides at the end that have to do with retail and some exhibitions going on that further show these trends in the market. So just to focus on just a little focus on a few pages, this is about the environment. I mean, during the confinement, we've seen examples of wildlife resuming its rights during COVID. Here on the right, you could see just in Venice, but not only Venice, of course, all the waters becoming clearer and blue again, and signs of undersea life visible again. We also see, wildlife, animals, raccoons, lions, we've seen bears, all coming out of their habitat to reclaim the land again. So we're just reminded that wildlife is always resuming its rights. And this even shows further the impact of humans on a daily basis on our planet. And so COVID has definitely accelerated human awareness right now. And this is what's reinforcing the trends and probably touching people actually more than it would have right now had COVID not existed at this moment. Let's focusing on a brand, and we just picked Adidas because I wanted to pick some relevant trends because we're always updating trends, right? But these are some relevant ones that have been covered in the market right now. So since we were putting this together in the moment, we just chose some very recent examples. But this is about Adidas's latest commitment to waste, and as you can see in the timetable here. Waste is the problem, so innovation is the solution. And so Adidas they're continually demonstrating their commitment to end plastic waste. And as you can see, just back as far as 1998, they prohibited all the use of harmful toxic chemicals. By 2015, with Parley for the Oceans, Adidas and Parley launched a single shoe as part of a long-term eco partnership. And just as of 2020, this year, more than 50% of their products will use recycled plastics. And by 2024, they are hoping to plan phasing out all virgin plastic and polyester in their products. So these are brands right in the moment of the trend, addressing these crises that we're looking at. Another thing I'd like to share with you, just 2 slides more on this, but here you see a focus on the secondhand market. We're seeing more and more consumers buying secondhand instead of retail, which is a concern for retailers. But here we've seen not only by Gucci, but by ThredUp. There's a lot of brands and retailers out there right now doing collaborations and fundraising. But this one was more recent, just this month, and so I thought I would share this one. On October 5th, Gucci and The RealReal, the luxury consignment website, announced a collaboration because of all the concern around consumption and the growing need for authenticity. We just see this enormous growth in this sector. Secondhand has grown 21 times greater than retail over this past 3 years. And by 2023, it's expected to hit 51 million. So they're even saying that by 2028, this whole secondhand market is predicted to be stronger than fast fashion ever was. So in sharing, some of the key trends that are happening, we see a lot of this in the market right now. Back to Adidas again, and I promise you I don't work for them and I don't advertise for them, but it was just 2 good examples in the market right now because not only were they part of the commitment, because they're in a couple of the trends, but not only are they having a commitment to end plastic, but they're also part of this secondhand market that's so promising. And they just recently unveiled their future Craft 2 sneaker. It's a 2nd generation sneaker out of 100% recyclable materials. Again, just showing how the examples I showed you just before are really fortifying the importance of this trend. And lastly, again, just talking about motivations and social cultural trends, just to leave off with the latest movements that are hopefully moving us toward new horizons. But on the left, you see an example of Dolce & Gabbana's Spring Summer 21 show, where they had every age, gender, and sexual orientation catered to on the runway. And they even had the show provided basically, it was a DNA themed show. And so they really showed the fact that Dolce & Gabbana's show proved that diversity is part of their core DNA. And within the show, they even sent out fingerprinted invites. So the message for them during the show was very clear. Everyone looks good in D&G and always has and always will. So we really love that show. And then on the right, here we are, guys, just days away from our election in America. And we see a record number of businesses that are making Election Day a paid vacation for employees, which is adding momentum to the whole registration, voter registration efforts. But, companies like Nike and Twitter and Best Buy, major corporations are actually giving employees time off to go vote during COVID-19 because they know that the lines are longer than usual. And so they're giving them the opportunity to make sure that they vote. But again, also in the trend, we see people really, really coming together and connecting. We saw, I don't know, you've probably just seen at the election polls, a Spotify list being put together and, entertainment and music where people are line dancing and entertaining everyone. And so even though we're very apart and we feel isolated at this moment, we're all coming together and feeling even more connected than ever right now. So even though we're physically isolated a little bit more, we feel closer and more united to one another than we have in the past. So anyway, just to share that with you, and oh, the fashion item that's breaking some sales is the Vote America t-shirt, by the way. So anyway, just to leave off before we start on the presentation, don't forget to get out there and vote if you haven't already done so. Whoever you're voting for, exercise your right as an American. Just everybody get out there and vote next week. So to start with the presentation, as I mentioned, I'm going to present two trends, Riverside and Revelry. A few key points that are important. This trend is around some sporty shirting, fluidity in length and lightweight fabrics, and lots of layering. And what I'm going to do is at the beginning of each trend, I'm just going to play a short video because it's always nice to see a little washover. And then I'll come back and just take you through the trends. So hopefully this is going to technically work. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to start with a few slides that show why, the why behind the trend. So here in the first slide, just a few socio trends. We're seeing this new emerging market of young green actives who are fully informed and aware of the threat to their survival, and young people around the world are mobilizing for their future. And so we've seen this emergence of all these young green actives who feel a sense of urgency in rebalancing our relationship with the environment. So both rural and urban, they understand the interdependence between humanity and nature, and they really want to reinvent the ecosystem of tomorrow. Another example around a biodiversified environment, we're seeing a lot of startups being created, again, because of for good intentions around the economy and sustainability. And this globalist behavior really considers the company and the impact of what it produces on a whole and challenges sustainability. So here we're seeing a French brand, an online platform called I have to pronounce this French, but Poskai. And they offer its customers crates of fish that are less known but abundant and inexpensive because they've been fished in a responsible manner. And so, respective of nature, they work directly around 60 fishermen who practice sustainable fishing. They use boats no bigger than 12 meters, no trawling nets, and they only do one-day expeditions. And in the end, the fishermen are actually paid more money than the market value because they want to encourage fishermen to really reduce the depletion of resources that threaten the overconsumption of, the more well-known fish. And lastly, this last slide is based around the waterways, which is why our trend is called Riverside, because we've seen a rising interest and respect for water as a source of life that's being transposed to our rivers. And this is about a Chinese sturgeon nature preserve project that's set to open in 2021. The project is around irrigating cities and around the world and riverbanks, which are all being fitted out to save endangered species and to restore biodiversity. And so the whole mission is to restore oxygen to the waterways that breathe life and energy into overcrowded cities. And by the way, their efforts will be on display in a public and immersive aquarium, all with the goal of educating their visitors about saving the environment. So that brings us to how we get the basis for our trends. And here in the first trend, revelry, is really a mood board and lifestyle board that's based around the water and this whole idea around revitalizing nature. And so we're seeing here this energizing elegance, a sporty, fresh touch, and liquid shine elements that really look like they're emerging like below from the flow of rapid rushing water. The colors here are all around oxygenated blues and greens and mineral colors. And we almost get this feeling of a galvanized nature that's like revealing surfaces exposed to the elements over time with a little corrosion, which offer a fresh new warmth and beauty that feels like it's constantly changing. And in the center, you see a style. We're looking at this, the silhouette that's key is around this, fresh, upbeat, chic, utility and swimwear layered sportswear looks in these fresh colors and very, very lightweight and technical fabrics. So looking at the key style directions from left to right, we're seeing light layering and with more modular and functional vibes, silhouettes with a chic minimalism, yet a sporty touch. For fabrics, we're looking at all the neutral poplins and shiny Lorex jerseys, and fabrics in general that are just light rustling fabrics that give more of a mineral look. And then in the next slide for design elements, a focus on colors in all these, this refreshing blue, azure blue, the white, crystalline waters, gray shale, all the colors of nature mixed with a little bit of shine and a celadon liquid shine here for the matte shine effect. For accessories, you're going to see more elegant utility effects, kind of these enveloping hats, things that are played with matte or sheer treatments, and lots of crossbody bags and fanny packs just for the casual elegance and the element. And then you see, oh, my screen is covering it, but the last slide there on the right is the development of a key item for the season, which is all these long, roomy shirts that are featured in lots of layers, longer layers with sport details. Which leads us obviously to the color palette, which is really just a beautiful color palette. It's all these invigorating colors of like a breath of fresh air. And so we see all the colors reflective of the water, of the nature of the sky, with elements of shine. So we're looking here at these river greens, these oxygenated blues, as I said, all played against kind of gray rock, mineral and neutral tones. And we see this liven up with the use of matte and Lorex shine combinations like you see on the left. This is an important slide. I'll cover this in both trends. And I like to address harmonies because every time I work with clients, they say, oh, well, I need the most current colors. And, I can't use that color because I've already used that color. But harmonies are really important for the season. And it's the way that you update your seasonal collections month to month. And so Carlin does a great job of providing different harmonies to work with because colors don't die after one usage for the season. They evolve month to month. They offer fresh ways to update your collection, your timings and deliveries with new palettes. And it's also a way just to kind of update a new color into your ongoing basics. And so here we see, for instance, playing with the colors, you have this geological approach with the blue torrent, the shale, and the crystalline waters, something that's a little bit more lively with a lightness, with crystalline water, the white, and here we've mixed a black noir in. The third harmony, which has a little bit more of changing climates, and we add in the magnesia and that antique celadon lorax, or in the last harmony, which is more of a calmer vitality with the inky night, the white, the magnesia, and the antique celadon lorax. So lots of ways to update your seasonal products on the floor. And just also interesting ways to think about playing with stripe layouts or prints and some different colorways for different looks. To focus on the fabrics for this trend, we're looking at some of the prints and fabrics. And so here, all the prints, these are just a few, but all the prints inspire like new and uneven refined effects, things that look like waves on rocks or aquatic ripples, or maybe like, flowers floating down the water, reinventing aquatic patterns. Prints are paired with like mountainous skies or maybe with some modern tailor stripes. And we see the use of sheer light materials like extra light nylons for total finesse, and that just add to the whole chic elegance, sport elegance of this trend, as you can see in the picture there. And the fabrics, we see a lot of extra light nylon and elastic strapping. So lingerie and more sophisticated athleisure. Athleisure isn't as casual and basic and sporty as it's been. We see lingerie and athleisure combining in a more sophisticated way with more minimal tones like this, with different surface finishes that are giving it a more contemporary look. And so we're seeing softened paneling, grosgrain, webbing, tech, and lots of fluid panels that create new silhouettes that offer a feeling of this more sporty chicness that you're seeing. So to focus in on what some of those key looks look like, and again, giving you different directions, the first one is around stylish tech, where we're looking at, maybe this gathered tuxedo jacket. And by the way, there is, it's not like all the trends are casual, but there are a lot of jackets and tailoring on the runway and in the collections, but even the tailored jackets are softer and more drapier, and things are a little roomier and oversized. Especially, thank goodness, because we've all been working from home very comfortably and we're used to this more looser, comfortable feel. But here you can see the tuxedo jacket, the modular desk, again, sporty details, things to add on like, gathers, cords, stoppers, which are updating these classic pieces. The shirt dressed with a more modernized utilitarian trim to give it that sporty chic look. And athleisure is updated by more treatments on it, like fastener treatments and lots of ultra texturized materials. And everything is paired with, and a few of the trends were pairing translucent accessories, which finish off the look with this more sporty modern tech feeling. And then on the next slide, everything around the shirting layering, again, which is very important to the season. Longer shirts, a lot of longer shirts, lots of layers, different layers of long drapey fabrics and shirts in different lengths, played with contrast details, metal eyelets, and again, worn with a crossbody bag for more of this, casual effect. And the last two looks are one here on the left of this more sporty chic. And so here you see again that shirt, but here the shirt has been put into a dress, a shirt dress that underneath is worn with like a bodycon bike short. Again, the crossbody bag and a pair of sporty, comfortable platform sandals that really finish off the look. And on the last slide, here we're looking at this more minimalist swim look. So we see a lot of swimwear details, a lot of cutouts, more of a sport influence with the swimwear vibe top with the cutouts, or like the framing on the right side, the body framing. And again, full-waisted high skirts, worn with high tops, or maybe even a diving shoe. Again, we're really being inspired to a lot this season, besides the trends here, because of all the stay-home fashion. So we've been a little bit creative in our closets this season, mixing sport pieces because, you know, we're doing just this sitting in front of a Zoom, doing our meetings and our presentations. And so we're wearing, you know, bike shorts on the bottom, and then or athletic tights or some loungewear piece. And then we're putting on, you know, tops because, you know, we're working and we're seeing each other. And so we're dressing a little bit more chicer on the top and a little bit more casual on the bottom. And we're having a little fun with our wardrobe mixing pieces right now. Which brings us to our second important theme, which is revelry. And here, this is it's a lighthearted, fun, happy trend, sparkling femininity, this more kind of fun Lolita spirit. And it's also about just dressing really casual and fun and cool for the summer. So I'm going to start off again with a little video, and then we'll go into the trends for revelry. So you remember at the beginning of the presentation when I shared that slide about motivations. And when we looked at individual motivations and, you know, things like wellness and well-being, naturality being part of the individual motivations. Well, this year, conviviality is the new well-being. And so here we're referring to a global study carried out by Opinion Way, where 90% of those asked feel that conviviality today is really a source of well-being. So being happy and content. And so, but interesting enough, while 61% say they feel the world is less convivial at the moment than it was 5 years ago, even more alarming, 67% of 18 to 34-year-olds really regret seeing their friends less and less due to social networks, and of course now, so social distancing as well. And they really, really miss the social connectivity of really being with other people. So this study really reveals a frustration that generates the desire to share in more when social moments, daily celebrations with other people, with friends and gatherings, and have more of a human social touch instead of just social networks. And so we're all missing the desire and the social aspect of connecting to others more so than before, since we've been so isolated than now with COVID. And so we see an emergence of these socially friendly individuals who really aspire not only to reconnect and have spontaneous and joyful times and moments, but they want to do it in a light way, in a lightness and a happy way, mingling in diversified surroundings with music and gatherings, and really having sparkling expressions of happiness and joyfulness. And you know, again, in this conviviality, way where they just want to be with people and enjoy the moment and enjoy life. And on another side of this direction, we're looking at accessibility right now and supporting all initiatives that aim to promote accessibility. And here, this is a Starbucks actually in Washington, D.C., and they opened up a store that only employs speakers of sign language. And this is inspired by the Deaf Project, which is a study by Hansel Bauman. And all the layouts of the stores incorporate all design elements that respond to issues that are encountered by deaf and hard of hearing people on a daily basis. So the whole objective of the space is not only, you know, as usual, like Starbucks is bringing people together because you can hang out in there and, you know, be on your computer or just grab a coffee, but the whole objective of this space is to bring clients' worlds together, whether they're deaf or hard of hearing or they're elderly, to be all happy together in, you know, one place. And it's a profitable initiative because the study shows that there are more than 1 billion handicapped people in the world today, which is a revenue of about $8 billion, which makes it the largest, the third largest economic power, superior to that of Japan, Germany, and the United Kingdom, if you look at it. So this trend Revelry is all about that. It's about being happy and spontaneous and enjoying in the moment and simple pleasures. And so here, fun and entertainment is a necessity. And you see all of these silhouettes dressed with spontaneity and simplicity and just mingling and being outside or in places for a happy spirit. So it's this feeling of a cool casualness and a femininity that's embracing, you know, this gentle sun-kissed lifestyle that you'd find in maybe a seaside town. It's about being in, you know, colorful neighborhoods, blending into summertime, joyful festivities, and just dressing in silhouettes that are just full of summer with sparkling lightness and, you know, flowers and just mixing prints and patterns together in a deliberate way to combine, you know, colors and prints and materials together, very much the way that we've been doing at home during the confinement of just mixing things together and putting them on, you know, in sporadic ways and just enjoying, you know, going in our closet, going shopping in our closets at home and just putting things together in a creative way. But here the influence is really around the southern spirit of France. It's about gathering and sharing moments. And here you have this, you know, kind of floral charm that's really inspired by a Provençal countryside. And so when we look at the style directions here, really the key looks of this trend, again, on the left is around this, you know, this sparkling simplicity. Here you're seeing a remastered Provençal touch with the, you know, polka dot top and this very soft ruffled skirt. In the second look, keying into on the fabrics, we see lots of eyelets and embroideries, crochets and textured effects like seersucker or piqué canvas or micro motifs. And then for the accessories, there's a whole range for accessories of really, you know, pinks, you know, range of pinks, kiwi green, and we love this buttercup yellow. It's a fresh yellow, and yellow is a great pop color, but it's also a great neutral of the season, and yellow is a really, really important color for spring, and we love yellow, actually, in the US. We do very well with yellows always, if they're the right yellows. And then for accessories, we're looking at natural materials and more in this Lolita spirit. And again, the key item to point out here is this ruffled fluid skirt, wrap skirt. That's really a key item for the season. So when we look at the color palette, we're really talking again about this very fresh summertime range of blooming flowers and fresh fruity colors. And so we're looking at all these fresh fruity pinks. You see the wisteria, the buttercup yellow, that raspberry pulp, and the kiwi that really make up the base of the fabric. And these colors are great to use for prints or just in, you see, they don't look shocking. They're just in fresh colors like you see on the left. And there's a lot of lace for the season. There's a lot of lingerie and lace fabrics, very comfortable, very soft, and a lot of them are recycled from plastics. And we have an enormous amount of fabrics in the book. And I have to say, when I was looking through them, because all of our books are very tactile, it's just amazing how soft and stretchy the fabrics are, and they're all recycled. And so there's been a lot of new development in fabrics, and Carlin uses a lot of actual tactile fabrics in the book. So I invite you to, well, I can't invite you, it's a virtual show, but I can show you in a presentation if you want to see some. So anyway, to look further, again, as I said, the harmonies are really important. Here you see some different harmonies. The first one around this range of blooming flowers. And we're always adding this cotton white because the cotton white is always making the colors very fresh for the season. So we have this wisteria, the strawberry juice, the white cotton, and the kiwi. Or here we're playing just with the pinks. I mean, we know that the color directions have been more monochromatic. And so here we're playing with, 2 pink colors with the white and this more acid drop colorway, or something of more of a fruity effervescent, but it's not the pink fruits, it's yellow fruits, more like bananas and maybe mangoes and limes. And here we play a little bit with that noir black and the white, or something just more minimal and simple, like the wisteria, the white cotton, the sand, and the black noir. So when we look at the prints and details, we're looking at a lot of inspiration, actually, because we talked about the French countryside, inspired by Van Gogh. And so we see lots of flowers, in particular Van Gogh's sunflowers with this canola yellow, with the ruffled petals that really add a touch of that south of France, to the prints. Really, but all casual. It doesn't have to be just a sunflower. It's about all casual summer flowers, like sunflowers or daffodils, or maybe just white, those little white flowers that you find, the soft against the green. But it's all about all these more casual flowers, this more natural charm feeling. We're playing with refreshing new dots, but you can even play with Provençal scarf prints actually in here. And for the fabrics, waffles and cliquets and lightweight plain weave cottons, lots of micro motifs, and there's a lot of eyeletting and crochets and all over eyeletting. And so we see crochet that's moving away from the tableware setting to dresses, but in more total simplicity, with a little bit of a central edge that give it this natural, easy charm that the French always just naturally seem to have. And so when we look at the key looks, again, 4 key looks for the season. The first look is around, like I said, this feeling of fun and village festivities. And so here, it's more of like the sparkling girl next door, and you've got these playful, fun, playful messages on t-shirts or bags with, again, lots of, polka dot and micro dot motifs, fluid knotted skirts, both long and short, and just, playing with that fun kiwi green pop for the shoe. And on the other side, you see lots to do with ruffles. So we've got off the shoulder dress with maxi ruffles, a belted waif, fun with the big jewelry, and hoop earrings and beaded bags. Again, on the handbags, we're showing, simple bags, simple shapes, very easy. And on the beading, we've got a lot of translucent materials because, these translucent bags just give it kind of a simple, easy touch that goes with everything. And on the last 2 key looks, we look at the Provençal more baby doll look, playing with the baby doll mini dress, with the puff sleeved and off the shoulders, a wide brimmed hat that can actually be in fabric, in a printed fabric, or it could be in natural fibers. lots of sunflower motifs again, and just a very easy, we've got more lower heels this season and lots of, sneakers and casual shoes for comfort. So here we're looking at, these mules with a little bit of a translucent sculpted heel. And on the right side, again, playing with all the crochet and the eyeletting, even as you see in the outfit here, this head to toe eyeletted look, with a basket weave bag, with a Provençal print scarf, fringe, and even, the visors and hats and natural materials. And here we play with the sandals with a natural, more sculpted wood heel. So that rounds up the key trends for the season. But as I promised, the team put together a few slides for me because, Paris is now opening after the confinement. And actually, one of our creatives on the team, Claire, who's been so instrumental in sending me information for this presentation today. After the confinement, this Gabrielle Chanel exhibit opened, and she went and she took some great photos that she just wanted to share. The Palais Galleria actually is the City of Paris fashion museum, and it had just reopened its doors after really some extensive work that it was doing. And they opened up with the first retrospective in Paris for, this exhibit of the unique and remarkable Gabrielle Chanel. And so the exhibit really invites you to discover the universe of style that's truly timeless. And that's very much at what we're looking right now. We're looking at, very simple silhouettes, draping, comfortable. It's almost like this exhibit was opened at the perfect time. And so the first part of the exhibit is really a chronological exhibit that recounts all of the early beginnings of like her emblematic pieces, like the famous 1916 the Mariner sailor sweater in Jersey, or the little black dress, just her iconic pieces. And then the second part of the exhibition deciphers her dress code, from the braided suit jacket to the quilted bag, the iconic jewelry. So it's really great that Claire was actually able to share this with me. I don't know if they're tuned in today, but thank you, Claire, if you're watching. Appreciate it. And just to share, I don't have a slide on it, but I just actually read today, so I wanted to mention it because it was really important as well. The Met finally opened its doors in New York City, and their first exhibit that they're starting with on October 29th, so just 2 days away, is a presentation of called A Disrupted Timeline of Fashion. It's 150 years of fashion along this disrupted timeline. And the exhibit is described as time is almost stopping because of the accelerated pace of life. An acceleration of time is affecting the production of fashion. And so this is what we've all been grappling with at the moment, because do we want fashion to slow down? We do, but we don't, but we're also aware of all the overproduction and overconsumption. And so the exhibit is really around the idea, the show ends with supposedly this, kind of 24/7 need for everything instantaneous and wanting everything instantaneous. Yet at the moment, it's almost like immediacy has really halted at this time. And so this is exactly where we are in the moment. And just like the trends that I shared with you today. And what's even more interesting is that this exhibit had been planned at the Met, but it was postponed because of social distancing and everything. And now it's just opening right in the midst of where we are with COVID. And it's almost like it's just more relevant than ever, because we're looking at fashion through these 150 years of disrupted moments, and this is exactly what the exhibition is talking about. So there you have a great exhibition in Paris if you're in Paris, and you have one to go to at the Met if you are in New York. And then another slide that, again, thank you, Claire, and thank you, Edith, who actually took these photos. But this is Le Bon Marché, and this is a corner. It's called Le Bon Marché Rive Gauche, and it's the La Bouche Rouge corner. Since 1950, This is what the exhibit's about. Since 1950, 9% of the world's plastic waste has been recycled, resulting in 83% of plastic that's still polluted in the waters. The water's still polluted by all 83% of the plastic. So in order to celebrate Ocean Month, Beaumarchais invited, filmmakers and artists to capture the ocean in the purest forms. And they had a lot of fashion exhibits and things they did in the store. But this is just the most recent one they did. And it happens to be around beauty. And you can see the fashion one in the center. But it's about beauty for the planet. And they debuted in a corner in Beaumarchais. And as we know, the cosmetic industry is the third most polluting industry, with the automotive being first and fashion being second. So automotive, fashion, beauty. And so La Bouche Rouge, the motto behind it is to choose on purpose to avoid any plastics, not even use recycled plastics. All their formulations are produced in products, and they do all the distribution to the store. So no more plastic in beauty, and everything that's just natural and free of plastic. And this is how, again, after the containment with the opening of the store, this is what they focused on. And then lastly, I wanted, as I promised, to leave you with a little bit of being in Paris. And this is, of course, it was Paris Fashion Week. And so the team put together just a little recap on the fashion shows with some, what we thought was really key for you to take away with. And so here, looking at this, we're looking at a little bit of Life in Pink that we see here with the Chanel. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Yes, that is Chanel. Life in Pink with Chanel. I just wanted to get the designers for you. In the center, we have this hybrid, like I showed you in the beginning trend, this hybrid look, more sport, technical, and elegant chic by Saatchi, and this idea of comfortable and punchy by Louis Vuitton on the last image. Here we're looking at tailoring, and there is tailoring, but because, and I think we're going to probably want to have some tailored clothes after all the casual clothes we've been in. But even the tailoring is very draped. It's soft, you can see. There are a lot of shoulder effects, but the jacket is worn with, a bike short, again, the way we've been dressing at home. And then in the center, we have these, kind of tent volumes by Kenzo. And, just to say, we're very sad to hear about the recent passing of the very creative and talented Kenzo at 81 years old, who unfortunately died just recently due to complications of COVID. So thank you, Kenzo, for all that you've inspired us with, and rest in peace, Kenzo, you will be missed. So we had to have one of Kenzo in here. And then lastly on the slide is all of the lace. There's a lot of lace, all of these really soft, as I said, lots of recycled laces as well for the season, but a lot of this more kind of lingerie and mixed laces together. And then in this last slide of Fashion Week, here we see there's short skirts too. We have short lengths from Miu Miu, the cycling suit, which is really an important item. This one is by Maj. And then all the slouchy and flared pants that we're seeing here by Schiaparelli. And then lots of socks, these by Acne Studio, but we're wearing lots of socks right now, even at home, because we're in our houses not wanting to walk around with our shoes maybe on the floor. And so we're wearing slippers with little socks. And so socks are a big trend actually for spring, summer 21 as well. So that wraps up the trend information. And just to finish off with Carlin's offering, we have a lot of trend books and a digital platform, books from color to women's to lingerie and beachwear. Again, we are working with our clients on strategy, on their brand platforms, on color, working with specifically on color projects with their clients, designing collections, and also working on information and macro trends like I shared with you at the beginning of the presentation, which is really the basis where all the trends start. So consumer insights and research and development scenarios. So if you are interested, please feel free to get in touch if you want to see more. And I don't know, you might have some questions today that I hope I can answer for you. But you know, my information is there, and you can always feel free to email me if you have more questions, or if you want to set up a virtual presentation to see anything else. So thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over to Jason if he's there in the background. I hope he is. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate for you tuning in, and I hope that was some helpful and interesting information for you this afternoon. I don't know. I think we're live. I guess we're just waiting. Oh, technology. Hello. I don't know, maybe we're having some technical, or maybe he's pulling me off. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. Like I said, if you have any questions, and we are having some difficulty with technical, I'm not sure. If we are, you can always get my information in the show, and I'd be happy if you want to email me or send me any questions through email, but I guess we will wait a few minutes. There's always one time during a show that you have a little technical glitch. So unfortunately it was right now, so I apologize for that, but oh, I see something. I didn't see the okay, I see we have a question. Can we view this as an online exhibitor now? I don't know. I think you can. If not, you can email me, and I can. I think they're recording the presentation, but I think you can see it. If not, you can email me, and I'm happy to show it to you. But yes, there is. I didn't see the bright corals in your presentation. Is that a trending color? Yes, I actually. I have it here. There's some beautiful apricots and corals, strawberry juice, something we're calling salted orange, but there is a beautiful range. You didn't see all the colors today because I just focused on 2 key trends for you. And those key trends, but there are more colors throughout the season for the other trends. But yes, there are lots of really pretty corals. It goes from the pink to corals, again, in that fruity spirit. I see another message. I think, can you create all the lookbooks and line sheets for my, yes, we can do, I'm not sure if these are private questions or the group is seeing these, because Jason, I don't know, but yes, we can work on some projects and create for your eco-friendly clothing line. That, like I said, I was really surprised when I got the books for the season. There are so many really beautiful, sustainable eco fabrics that, and they're not stiff and scratchy. There's so many new developments that, and they're affordable. Oh, by the way, did I mention that? And they're affordable. I was even shocked. I talked to the team about it. So it's just like to be sustainable and do good and have some great fabrics and lots of great lace fabrics too. And thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you liked the presentation. Oh, this is fun. I like this. Now I like the technology. This is fun. Now it's working. Does anybody else?
We just had one more come in here. Are the museums you mentioned something we can attend online?
I don't know. I can find out about Paris. I don't know what they're doing online. I know that the Met is, you know, that's really up to the museum themselves for the exhibit. But I know that at the Met, they said that they're doing these timed tickets. And so, because they have to manage the amount of people who are coming in, which is probably a great way to go to a museum because, it's always so crowded in lines and people. So they're really doing timed tickets. So when you enter, you have a certain amount of time so that they can, move people through. But if they're offering it online, I don't know. I think you could, the exhibit isn't even open yet. As I said, the one at the Met opens on the 29th, the disrupted fashion. And the one in Paris is going on right now. You know what, if you share your email with, I don't know, Jason, or if you want to email me, I can ask Claire in my office to get some details and let me know. And
What's your email, Jeanine?
Huh?
What's your email, just so I can post it here, if that's all right with you?
Oh yeah, sure. It's Jeanine at JeanineMilillo.com. Pretty easy. So it's JeaNine at JeaNineMilillo.com. So Jeanine at JeanineMilillo.com, because I am the US business partner for Carlin. And so, oh, thank you so much. Beautiful presentation. I love to see that. You know what? Thank you very much. But there really are a lot of beautiful, beautiful colors. I think people are not going to be able to wait till spring to wear all these colors. And, there's corals and blues. And there's a lot of really beautiful Lorex and shiny materials. I feel like I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, I'm going to come off. I just want to show you how pretty this palette is because tactile is the way to go. Can you see that? How beautiful that is. So there's those corals that you talked about, and those pinks and the Lorex. So yeah, there's a lot of colors for this season. Like I said, in the hour we had today, I wanted to make sure that, we brought you closer to the season of what was key. But, more to share later. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, you guys are great. Look at this. Yes, affordable, sustainable fabrics. Yes. Yes, you're welcome. Great presentation. Appreciate that. Oh my God, I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed this. So I guess, you can probably find a lot of these fabrics too, maybe at the exhibitors at the show as well. But somebody asked me about helping to create their lookbooks for their new eco-friendly line. So I don't know, Gina, maybe Gina, you can get my email address and email me separately because that seems like maybe a separate conversation.
Yeah, I included your email there in the chat. So if anybody wants to email Jeanine directly with any questions, you can certainly use that.
Do you have any thoughts on cactus leather? Cactuses, yeah, there's a lot of vegan leathers right now. And I think the great thing about all these vegan leathers and materials that they're made from is that they just take on a different feel. I don't know what kind of, what you're using them for, if it's for accessories or clothing, Patricia. But, again, if you want to email me, I'd be happy offline to answer some questions if you want to share some more. But yeah, there's a lot of, right now in the sustainable trend, of course, there's a lot of vegan leathers out there that are great. And cactus, there's a lot with cactus and with hemp and different materials. So yeah.
All right.
Does anybody else have any? I hope was everybody really interested in the macro information? Because I think it's really nice to see just where the trends come from and the social cultural. So I know that usually trends are just presented, but I hope that was like a nice rounded presentation because that's really why the trends that Carlin works on are relied upon because they come from facts and researching the market and consumer trends. And so I think it was like just a nice way, I hope, that kind of connected the dots of where the research starts from and how sustainability and all of that is really just affecting the market right now and so much in the trend.
Yeah, it is certainly nice to know how these trends are procured, and I think that's something that is missing from a lot of trend forecasts that I have seen personally, which is quite a few at this point. So that was a nice way to kind of see full circle from a different perspective. So thank you for
Yeah,
including
I
that.
mean, I like that. Honestly, I put it in, I'm going to move this screen, which I can't see. Honestly, I put it in there too, because somewhere in a presentation, someone's always asking me, so where do you get your trends from? And so it's always thrown in there, and I try to spend time. So I thought, I think I should just put that slide in and cover it, because I think everybody really wants to know that. And when you see trend, you say, well, I don't know. I mean, where do you get your trends? Can I rely on this? And I think right now, after just this moment we've been in, everybody's just wondering like what to do, where to go, what
Yeah.
should we design? And so, but anyway, if you want to post my information for anyone to email me, feel free. And hopefully maybe we'll put another presentation together. I think you have another show coming in soon, so we'll think about that too.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll announce that shortly.
Stay
But
tuned,
yeah. Anyway, but so I just want to thank you again, Jeanine. That was a very thorough and
You're welcome.
very, very well done trend presentation. So thank you again. I want to remind all of our attendees to go ahead and check out the exhibitor hall. If you click down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the link there. Also, we do have a live hangout with a lot of our show partners and our speakers and administrative staff and people helping with matchmaking are going to be going in and out of there. So it's just kind of a cool place. It takes the place of the actual show floor on site. So I just posted the link here a minute ago. It's also on Zoom, so please feel free to check that out. Again, thank you so much, Jeanine. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully next year we'll be able to see each other in person. So, all right.
Okay,
well, we have our next.
Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions for now. So,
yep.
You'll let me know.
All right. Our next presenter will be coming here on at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me, Dana Todd from Bolanda. So we will see everybody here in about 12 minutes. Thank you.